Do you know the saying that someone says that, oh, I need a vacation from my vacation? I used to laugh about this, but honestly, it's me. Like a lot of times, I would come home from a trip like more exhausted than what I when I left. And for years, I just thought that this was normal. Like that's how travel's supposed to feel. Like you run, 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 you go places, sun up to sundown, and then you're just tired. But I felt more tired than normal. So over time, it made me realize something important. Sometimes vacations don't restore us, they actually burn us out even more. And that's especially true if you're neurodivergent like me. I love to travel. I always have. So much so that I've been helping other people travel and plan their trips for the last 7 years. But for a long time, travel felt like something I had to push through instead of something to give my energy back. And once I realized that, it completely changed how I thought about travel and how I go forward with it. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Heath. I am as I mentioned, I'm a travel agent. I'm neurodivergent. I was diagnosed with ADHD in college and with autism 1 here early in 2025. And that introduced me to a lot of self-discovery. Also, what it had me, for the longest time, I've tried to promote my travel business. It got me into some trouble. Meaning, like, I know that the way to connect people is through video, but I don't do eye contact well. Also, that would cause then the situations like the ring light keeps going through my glasses, and because of my eye movement around, rapid speech, just things. But I realized that I need to accept me and what I need, and those things are important for travel too. So, like I was saying, once I noticed that travel was leaving me exhausted instead of restored, I had to ask myself why. Um, for a long time, I thought the problem was me. I thought maybe I wasn't good at travel. I need to try harder, just to fit in, just to be normal. Like if I planned better, if I pushed through more, then it would be fine. I even thought before that that I wasn't necessarily good at, but once I look back on it, realizing I was neurodivergent, I didn't fully understand that it actually affected the way that I liked to and honestly needed to travel to avoid the stimulation, to get the correct pace, deal with constant decisions. I was traveling the way I thought I was supposed to, but like so many things in my life, not the way my brain and body actually needed. So at that point, as I was going through the self-discovery, which I'm sure many of you have, it clicked with me. The issue wasn't that I didn't love the travel. It was that I was pushing against myself and not allowing myself to love it. Once I realized that traveling the way I wasn't working, I started paying attention to why, especially once I learned through my counselor about the concept of burnout. Burnout is when we overstimulate ourselves, and then it causes that tired feeling, the one that makes you not want to get up off the couch, the one that just wears you out. Oftentimes, for people with ADHD and autism, it can be confused with a depression or with making that feeling of being laziness. So I learned about that, and I related it back to my travel. So I noticed if I had long days without real breaks, which happened more when I went with my family instead of with ourselves, packed schedules every minute, constant decisions, that halfway through the trip, I was just mentally tired. And then when I got home, I was more tired than when I left. And I'm not saying to not get every moment out of your vacation. We still learn how to do it strategically. Like that is what is kind of exciting for me, and what I want to share with you is to do things strategically. And also that I realized the difference between my trips, like when I went with my family and we all kind of more ran, but it was like just my wife and my child, like we'd start later, our days would be easier and they'd be so much more enjoyable. And really, I oftentimes felt like I was doing travel wrong, but I later now realized I was just pushing myself past the limits without realizing it. So let's talk about accommodations then. When people hear the word accommodation, they usually think of formal things, like applying for the DAS pass at Disney or going to the airport and asking specific accommodations. And those things absolutely matter, and a lot of us need them. A lot of us, myself included, can get by just adjusting how we do things. So it's important to advocate for yourself, but it's also important to just know what yourself needs and find that balance. So, because accommodations don't always only live in official systems. A lot of neurodivergent people function at a level where we don't qualify for these supports, but we still need something to not burn out. So what do? Well, traditionally, we've always just masked. You push through, try to be like everyone else. And for those who don't know, I mean, masking is basically just adapting your behavior to fit into a neurotypical society. And that masking, it actually exhausts us. So what I've learned and what I'm trying to create overall is accommodations for myself. They could be slowing down a day. They could be building in rest. They could be choosing comfort, leaving some margin for myself. And this all reduce the need to mask in the first place. And a lot of these I'm going to try and talk about, more in depth. But what I'm doing this is why I now find the need to do this and why I've gotten to the point that I accept that it's what makes me mentally stronger and what makes travel sustainable for me. Because you're not doing less. Like, it's not about doing less because you can't do more. It's about doing travel in a way that doesn't cost you everything. And in the end, when you find that place, you're going to actually get the most out of your trip. So in the end, you won't be giving anything up. So once I started accommodating myself instead of trying to push through, travel started to feel completely different. Like, I was less tired. I was more present. And with my family, that was really important. Um, I never dreaded trips, but I definitely stopped doing so to kind of go through things ahead of time. I stopped feeling like I needed to survive something and feeling like I actually gave something back to me. And that's really the biggest change in this is to stop feeling guilty or to know why you do it. Because I have a whole series right now I'm working on of things that I thought were bougie but turned out they were accommodations. So all along I would be like, oh, I need an airport, lounge, or oh, I want more plush seats, or I need less room, or I need pre-check. And I just thought that was just me being like, oh, I'm like I like the luxury. And really it was what was getting me through. It was the way that was keeping me away from the sounds, away from the smells, away from the stimulation of the people. And that I needed to stop feeling guilty about that and stop making excuses for it and saying it's what I needed to get through. And for different people, those are different things. And once I experienced that, I couldn't unsee it. I had to take care of me, and sometimes that was having a different schedule than my family, well, not my family, like my extended family, or expressing my needs. We can, I hope over someone to explore what some of those needs are. So either on here, through YouTube, these longer term form videos, or in my community that I'm building, Traveling While Neurodivergent, we're going to try and see what those needs are, give each other tips, tricks, talk about different destinations, what can help us, because we deserve it. And it's so the first step, in my opinion, and the step that I've done on the longest is, what does it feel like to deserve it? I'm still not there. I don't know what that looks like. And I'm not going to pretend like I fully know what it looks like. But I am going to tell you that I think it is worth it and that we should try and get there. So I wanted to introduce myself and explain to you why I think that accommodating yourself for travel is so important. Thank you and talk soon.